All right, now that you've mastered the basic types of turns, you can add one more component, and that's putting a sensor on your robot to determine how much it turns instead of guessing and checking with your amount of rotations. To do that, we're going to use the same kind of turn block, but instead of having it be on for rotations, we're going to just turn the motors on, and that way they just run until some condition is met. So we can pick what kind of turn we want to do here based on either our pivot, spin, or curve. So I'm going to go ahead and just do a regular pivot turn with slowed down motors for better accuracy. So this will hold one wheel still and the other wheel will turn. But how much is it going to go? Well, right now it would turn it on and then the program would be over, so it wouldn't do much of anything. So we need to come over here to our flow blocks, and we want to put on a wait block at this point. So we want it to hold those motors on until, well, not for time, although that would work. You'd be guessing and checking again, coming up with the right amount of time. But we want to switch that mode from time down to gyro sensor, and we're going to compare the angle of that gyro sensor. So here it says it uses a Boolean condition of less than, right? A 4 equals less than, and if I come and select that, you can see a 0 is equals and a 1 is not equal to, etc. So the number is really irrelevant. It just tells it, the programming, what kind it's going to do. So I'm going to put in here, I say I want it to wait until it's greater than, because it's going to start measuring the angle, and as soon as it's greater than 90, say I wanted to do a 90-degree turn, then it's going to stop and move on to the next thing. So remember, programs run in a linear fashion. Starts here, it does this. So this says turn the motors on, and then it goes to this and says, well, okay, the motors are on, now what? And it leaves those motors on until this condition is met, and then the program's over. So usually at the end we want to throw in a motor stop block. So we're just going to put that in and say motors off. There are other things you could put there as a way to end your program, or in many cases you're basically continuing on with other parts of your program. So try that out. There are a few little tips and tricks that I'll show you in later videos on how to improve your gyro sensing, because it's very susceptible to position and a few other kind of glitchy little things that we'll talk about in class as well as future videos. So play around with those different with the gyro and see what you can do on the different types of turn. Maybe try a pivot one, a spin one, and a curve one, and see how they differ. See if you can get it to do something different than a 90 degree. Okay.